I would like to read out a part from a study of mine called George Eliot and the Three Cultures. The title is a reference to the insightful book of Wolf Lepenies, Die Drei Kulturen, which gave me the inspiration and a promising point of departure for my researches. The aptness of the title becomes evident after a bit of clarification, as it signifies two different yet related issues. Firstly, it is a reference to the three disciplines contending with each other for the privilege to be the leading discipline that best understands and analyzes modern civilization after the Industrial Revolution, and consequently offers the needed guide to living, namely the two already established disciplines, natural science and literature, along with the uncertain third one, sociology, a discipline fighting for its self-sufficiency from the beginning of the 19th century. Furthermore, it is also a reference to the three cultures of Germany, France and England, mutually influencing each other and nevertheless showing such great differences as to the status and characteristics of the three contending disciplines. Rewarding writing as it is, yet the part that Lepenies devotes to England is regrettably the shortest of the three. Nevertheless, apparent shortcomings often turn out to be advantages in disguise, and having read Lepenies' book with great pleasure and interest, my laments concerning the exhaustiveness of the English part soon give way to the happy recognition of a promising project, the fruit of which is the study of the relationship between the three cultures and the works of certain English or Englishized American writers, namely George Eliot, Henry James, and E.M. Forster. This part, then, deals with the sociological dimensions of Eliot's work. None of Eliot's novels fulfills the task to draw a comprehensive picture of society and demonstrate its organic nature as successfully as Middlemarch. The characteristic interconnectedness is observable on several levels. On the one hand, in keeping with the concept of tradition within the context of the Darwinian theory of heredity, humanity is shown as an organism in which present, past and future communities are linked together by the continual passing on of experience. The accumulation of these past deeds, habits and customs make up the tradition or culture of a people, a race, a nation, which exerts its potent shaping force on the coming generation that inherits it. On the other hand, just as the inherited experience is handed down from the past to the present Middlemarch community, so does the present community impose its influence on each of its members. Indeed, as the past makes the present, so does the social life develop the individual, who is not to be viewed merely as an assemblage of organs apart, but as an assemblage of organs fulfilling the role of an organ in a collective organism as well. A corollary to this is that while his own organism, through the chain reaction of sense perception, feeling and experience, is the direct source of his knowledge concerning sensations, primary impulses and judgments, so are his more complex conceptions, theories and virtues derived from the collective organism he is part of. This entails that an individual cannot be viewed in isolation, but only in his relation to his environment, only as a community member. If we are to count the number of boxes we are squeezed in before having the chance to consider ourselves as individuals, the words freedom and independence tend to ring rather hollow. Firstly, there is nature's unbending uniformity with its rigid universal laws entirely ignoring humanity, which consequently has to conform to it in order to survive. This is the man-nature dimension. Then comes the issue of man in time. Humanity as a great big organism passing on its experience concerning the know-how of this necessary adaptation from past to present to future. After this, there is the organism of the present community to take into consideration, by which we are preconditioned on several additional levels. As members of a nation or a race or a city and of a family. To continue with the roles we have even within these as citizens, parents or children opens up yet another host of impositions. Although this may seem to imply that the multiple preconditioning of the individual lot does not leave any room for personal choice and responsibility for one's actions, yet it is far from a license to blame all on circumstances. Being part of an organism works both ways. which means that just as the other organ members influence the organ individual in question, so does the latter have a say in the overall matter as well. As Eliot puts it, I quote, "It always remains true that if we had been greater, circumstances would have been less strong against us," unquote. Another offshot of the importance of environment in the lives of individuals is the unfeasibility of absolute moral laws and the consequent belief in their relativity, which precludes the possibility to measure everybody by the same fixed set of standards and calls for finer gradations than black and white or good and evil when judging one's character and actions. Just so, the story of a single individual cannot help being distorted if it is not given the appropriate context of the parallel stories of the other individuals surrounding him. The web of cause and effect is of unlimited dimensions, and the larger and more finely woven sample the writer reconstructs of it, the less distorted the truth that he is trying to convey to his readers is to become. Eliot's solution is the use of multiple plot lines and the conscious playing down of the predominance of the main protagonists, which she achieves by giving attention to the stories of several minor characters. In harmony with her concept of a human being as first and foremost a member of society and not an individual, nobody is placed at the center. Rather, the center itself is a smaller, more exclusive community shared by the heroes and heroines. Interconnectedness and sharing that Middlemarch symbolizes becomes yet more prominent if we consider that all its members are somehow related. In the genealogical tree of its community, the concept of humanity as a great big family finds its correlative. That family members usually resemble each other in various ways can thus be applied to the whole of humanity, and indeed, Eliot's novel shows us the fundamental sameness of the human lot. From a technical point of view, with the authorial devices of contrast and comparison, the reader is continually made to recognize the recurrence of and resemblance between so many aspects of the lives of the characters. Although the sameness of the human lot may seem rather disheartening if it is to be found in the multiplicity of unhappy lives, yet the cheering side of it is the sympathy and help that can be shared on the basis of shared experiences, feelings, and personal lots.